what the hell to do for these intros, bro. Honestly, it's really just getting to the point where I shouldn't do an intro. I should just start. I should just say fuck it and just start. Guten Tag, you schmucks. Welcome back to the Sage Tower. My name is CJ, and today we're talking about being 20. And I decided I wanted to talk about the topic because, I'm in my 20s. I'm a, strong, buff, handsome, young, stout, sprite, whatever other words they use to describe 20-year-olds. I'm in that category. But we just are living in a day and age now where everything is like very heavily centered around like not screwing up in your 20s. This generation, the current generation I'm a part of, what is it? What are we? Generation X? Are we Gen Z? Yeah, we're Gen Z, right? Yeah, I'm Gen Z, right? And that runs from whatever year to whatever year, I guess. Our generation is it's filled with so many different things in comparison to like the other generations. Like, we're the first real generation of like technology. We're the first real generation of like breaking away from the old struggles, the old stuff that people used to do, and the old generational ways that have caused trauma and disparity amongst our communities and things of that nature, right? And we're the ones dealing with it all. Market crashes, terrible economy, and all these other different things. Like, we are the generation that has to figure out how to fix all this stuff. And honestly, I don't think we're doing a great job. I think we're not doing too hot, mostly because I think our generation has been trying to fix it since birth and all of the other struggles that come along with it. And it's just really been like, we can't fix the world, fix ourselves, and fix everybody else around us. Seems a little bit unfair. Because if you think about it, right, like, you go on Instagram and, obviously my page is more curated to towards like content creation, things of that nature. You got the Andrew Tates out there and the gurus on how to become the best version of yourself, how to hustle, how to grind, grind until the gears fall off, grind until your mind stops working, grind until you're practically a slave to the thing that you were doing for joy at one point in time, and pray to God that you are not captive both emotionally and mentally. And it's just really I hate hustle culture personally. I'm not a hustler. All right, not in that sense where it's like, till I drop, am I going to continue working? No, I'm not doing that personally. I don't dream of labor. Okay, I've been saying this since I was a youngin'. It also is the people that are, super successful that are showing these things. And it's not to say that hustling doesn't work. It's more so to say hustling in this generation doesn't work the same way. Hustling in this generation is more so like, you didn't take that extra nap that you needed for, you to relieve the stress of the fact that you took a bunch of other naps and are now behind on your work. So you end up figuring out, well, I'm so stressed, I might as well give myself a treat by taking a nap, so I'll be more refreshed to do all the things that I miss due to the other 10 naps that I just took. And all these different people online are creating very much a real toxic culture of like youngins who don't know their place in the world or are trying to figure out their place in the world, thinking that the only way to do it is by like essentially utilizing this time, this peak time of their life, to essentially do nothing but work towards those goals, do nothing but live below your means and things of that nature to achieve the ultimate lifestyle or whatever the case is. If you're lucky, by the time you're 40, 45, 50, when you're ready, whatever the retirement age is, right? I won't say 65 because the whole goal of doing it early is because, you're trying to get there faster. So if you're reaching there at 65, then it seems like you didn't do something correctly. Or let's not say incorrectly, you just didn't do it the way that they show it online. I know for me at least, I'm somebody who's like, if I want to do something, or if I try to start something, I have to finish it as I do it. I'm not super in love with like waiting till the next day to finish something, especially if it's something that I think I can sit down and do in one sitting. I would rather sit down and edit a video for like 16 hours straight than to like edit a video for 2 hours and then cut away and then like come back to it afterwards. I don't know, something about just the full completion of something just tickles the right part of my brain, you know what I mean? And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there like that as well, like The idea that you would have to utilize time on something that you could have finished today basically goes against the entire idea of how people perceive 20-year-olds in this part of their life, as if because we're young, because we're full of energy and reaching the peak, quote unquote, peak physical condition of our lives, you know, where you can drink as much as you want, quote unquote, because I'm not gonna lie, I was doing that, and I don't know, my body is just not accepting alcohol the same way no more. Like, it really feels like I'm getting old, bro. Like, I went out to drink with some friends the other day, bro. I was doing this every single day and then into the weekend while I was in college, and now I can't even do it once a week, much less once every 2 weeks. Like, I'm knocked out crazy because I had a little bit of Paul Masson and Jack Daniels for the night. You know what I mean? If people weren't calling me old before, they're definitely calling me now. The way society paints a picture of 20-year-olds in this current day and age is just, we are supposed to be these constant drone ants, essentially, working, slaving away until we eventually hit whatever age where all the savings and all the other things that we've made come to fruition, and then we can realistically buy our house and buy our car and, you know, use our degree or whatever, and you get all the things that you want and you get to retire early. But like, being 20 now is not the same as it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's just not the same. The rules are different. The stakes are much higher. The environment in which we're cultivating ourselves is just not the same. You look at the 20-year-olds now and the 20-year-olds of like 1990 something, like that small amount of time, the difference in 20-year-olds then and 20-year-olds now is so drastic. 20-year-olds then, like, it just seemed like the life skills they had were so much more important at the time, whereas now it's like you don't have to know how to do that many things for real just to get by. As long as you are able to work a phone to some degree and use a computer, you can essentially get everything you need. You can order your food online, you can you can talk to people online, send your emails and stuff like that, communicate with people. Any entertainment that you need is right there in front of your eyes 24/7. Thousands of websites to choose from, hundreds of thousands of shows and movies to choose from. Like, you can't escape it. There's social media, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all these different things. Basically in your face 24/7. You can honestly exist from the comfort of your home and not have to go and interact with anybody. Like, anybody at all. People in this generation don't even know how to send mail. We don't know what a stamp is. When's the last time, if you're under the age of 27, when was the last time you put a stamp on a letter and put it in a mailbox? Just really think about that for a second, right? Because I know damn well that's not true. I actually do it fairly often, but that's because I live with old people, you know. But that's besides the point. Anyways. But yeah, you know, like, I look to my personal experience right now as being a 20-year-old, and I'd say that honestly some of the biggest challenges that I face currently right now are just knowing myself in and of itself is such a hard task in this day and age. Like, it feels like I'm struggling to grasp and understand basic simple things of that I want to know about myself, right? And it's like, maybe I'm not capable, maybe that I'm not understanding it well enough for me to sincerely sit here and, you know, make the claims. I don't know. I'm talking bullshit at that point. I don't know what I'm saying anymore about that. Yeah, it's just difficult. It's difficult to exist right now. You know, and especially if you're somebody who has a lot of responsibilities outside what I guess is considered the norm. Like, maybe I'll use terms like parentified. If you were a parentified child, if you know what that is, you know what that is. I think that's a different video that I'll talk about that kind of stuff. But if you were a parentified child, if you're somebody who had to take care of a lot of things outside of their age range, responsibility, you know, during that time of your life, you know, if you have sick family members, if your parents are immigrants, things of that nature, like, right, I know you're struggling right now, and I send my condolences out to you, and I send my heart out to you, and I hope that you guys are doing okay, because honestly, I know it's tough out there. But you know, like drop, you know what, and you know what, drop your experiences in the chat. You know, let me know, are you guys out there living the life that you think you're supposed to be living? Drop your experiences in the comments down below. And while you're down there, why don't you subscribe and give this video a like? It sure would help me out, and you know, push my video out there on the algorithm. Yeah, thanks. Being able to say that you know yourself and you're able to really just like understand who you are in relation to the things around you, like all of that stuff requires experiences. And I think in your 20s, experiences are the one thing that the world just stops handing to you. You know, you're expected to hustle 24/7. The experiences that they say you're gonna get in the future are the very experiences that you're having right now, the easy ones that are coming to you because you're in school with other people and you have to see different people, you know, on a regular basis, because you know it's a requirement, whether it's you going to work or it's you going to classes or it's you you know, just hanging out, just walking down the street in general, right? All these different things that happen on a day-to-day basis. Once these things stop, you stop having experiences, you stop getting the very thing that you're striving so hard for in the future. Because if you think about it right now, being in your 20s, like I like I said earlier, I had gone out with a couple of friends recently, and I mean, I don't know if they'll see this video, shout out to them, super glad that we all got to hang out and stuff like that. But bro, when I tell you my social anxiety was flaring, holy crap, it has been so long since I talk to human beings outside of like my immediate family members and like my closest circle of friends, and that's like maybe 7 people. Like really had a conversation with people that I haven't like spoken to in that long, or haven't spoken to at all. Like I forgot how to do it for a second. I stood outside the venue that I was supposed to be going to for like 30 minutes because the person that I knew there wasn't there yet. Didn't have the guts to go inside and talk to everybody else that was in the building, you know? And it's just like little things like that is like things that a lot of 20-year-olds struggle with these days. And it's like, I mean, it's a bad thing, don't get me wrong, but it's also just the reality of what we're facing right now. Like, we struggle to make friends, we struggle to make connections. Why? Not just because of the pandemic, really, because it's just like technology and all these things have made us so separate from each other that like having those experiences doesn't come as easy, especially once you get outside of high school. Once you're outside of schooling in general, you're not getting those experiences the same way. It just doesn't come as naturally. I thought about it the other day, and college is really just selling you experience. Like, you go to college for an experience. Livable communities, shareable communities, right? Close-knit communities. You're going to college to pay for. You paid for college for that. That's what it is. Like, oh, it's fucking, bro, stupid ass.
Several months later. 2,000 years later.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Anyways. But yeah, you go to college for that stuff, you know, like you're going to college specifically so that you can get an education, obviously, but also you get an education with the experience of having peers around you also pursuing the same thing, where you get to live on your own, manage your time on your own, manage your money on your own. You're essentially by yourself. It's a first-hand experience of what it's like living in the real world, but you know, the handicaps that come with it. You know, it's a dormitory, there are adults there watching you, blah blah blah, and we pay for that. That's essentially what you're paying for. Like, you're paying for the entire experience of that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a good thing. I think everybody should at some point experience it. I don't know whether or not the level of education itself is worth the money that they make people pay for it, but again, completely separate video that I think we will get into at some point. The idea of having to do all of that, coupled with the idea that you're supposed to hustle until the day that you get to the point where you're free to say, oh, I'm retired, I don't have to pay anything anymore, I don't have to do anything anymore, I'm financially stable and tired and free from all of that stuff. It just feels like an excessive amount, and it's being specifically placed on 20-year-olds. I get it to a degree. Like I said, there are some things that I agree with in the idea of like that whole philosophy of, you know, grind until you get what you want. Like, you got to put in the effort to get what you want. Nobody's going to give it to you on a silver platter, right? That's not how this world works. You know, when you're down, people don't care that you're down, you know, like you have your friends, your family and stuff like that, obviously, but the world itself does not really care that you're down. It just cares that there was, I don't know, it feels like it just cares that you got back up in the first place, because it couldn't knock you down if you didn't get up. Like, that's the whole thing that I think about, at least. But it just seems really difficult, and honestly, this video is not meant to be like, how do we fix it? Because I don't know how the fuck we're supposed to fix that shit, boy. I don't know how we're supposed to fix it. And not even that I haven't thought about it, but just, I don't know. I feel like in this current state, time, form of life that I'm living currently, I just kind of want to experience stuff. I kind of just want to go through the motions, feel all the awkwardness, feel all of the weird moments, cringe at myself a little bit. I just want to experience the human experience kind of in its full capacity, which I feel like I've been avoiding recently, and I feel which is also the reason why a lot of the things that I've been feeling internally have been more negative. I've been running away from parts of me that I think it's time to face, and you may have to face, because you're 20 and watching this video, and people have placed expectations on you that you might not be capable of handling. But what do I know? This wasn't advice. Like I said, I don't give advice out on this channel. That's all I got for you. Thanks for coming to watch the video. If you liked it, drop a like, comment down below. What do you think that your 20s is like? Is it harder, easier than what I'm talking about currently? And don't forget to subscribe, because, I mean, just do it. Okay, bye.